Another glorious day here in England. I'm lucky enough to have this nice trout stream, so I thought I'd come and sit down here and wait to see if my dinner goes floaty past, so we'll hook him out. Right, engine block. So first thing you want to do is get rid of all of the old gasket stuff. Of course, a lot of this is self-explanatory, and then clean it up. Now, I've tried a few cleaning products, and slightly dangerously, petrol seems to work brilliantly. It just strips this stuff bare straight away. So go over it gently with a wire brush. Be careful of these surfaces not to erode these. Is try and scrape them off without damaging the surface. But the most important thing when you're looking at these is to understand the oil flow and where that goes. So I've done another video before on these Zundapps and where the oil flow comes from and where it ends up. So down here we've got the oil pump. It's squirted through various drillings, heads into this, comes out of here from the oil pump, heads into this obsolete chamber, and then through various other drillings to different parts of the engine. But what you've got to watch here is where it ends up. So just trying to find them. We go around this side, spinning around. Try and do this one-handed again. So look, we've got one up here, coming out there. We've got a few small ones. You've got to check that one there. That isn't one, I can't remember, but it's worth putting a pinhole through it. Let me just look around for some more. There's some tricky ones dotted around. Look, see there's one there. Pretty sure that's an oil drilling as well. Let's have a look for some others. And look, there's one up here. Bit grass out of the way. Where are we? There's one there for the camshaft, that bronze, phosphor bronze bearing that goes into two cut slots. So again, inspect your case, make sure you understand where the oil flow goes. Clean the case first of all. Once it's absolutely spotless, then clean the drillings and then give it another rinse. Now this is really important. If you're going to be using TVP tube type bearings with the polyamide rings in them, then they have to be scrupulously clean. It should be clean anyway, but it has to be more clean with those because any erosion will just break them. So anyway, let's get started on the cleaning. Alright, so here we have the oil pump, the composite sprocket again, or gear. Inlet and outlet holes on the back there, you can see they're clogged up. This does not turn at all, and it should do, obviously. So it's probably contributing to the engine not turning over as well. On the back here we've got a copper gasket and a normal gasket, so the copper one we can probably reuse. Over the side here we've got the oil pressure regulator, which is a spring, ball bearing, and a screw to adjust that. These things have to mesh really tight. If they don't, then even about 2 thou or so difference and you'll find the oil pressure drops off rapidly. So we need to redo these gears inside, and I'll show you how to do that. And then somewhere in here is a hidden C-clip of some kind, I think, to get this apart. So we'll clean it all up and take it apart and have a look at it, see if we can fix it up. So we've got one off, got that piece. Now these are dead flat on either side if you look, see, because they obviously fit tight to the bottom and top, which forms the liquid seal. Now this one's got a little tiny wood ruff, see it down in there, and of course I can't get it off. Now because they create a liquid seal down there, there is nowhere to put any kind of puller really, so this is going to be another bugger to get apart. Getting a bit fed up with these kind of thing, but here we go, that's part of the struggle of it. So let's crack on and try and get this off. So the oil pump's done, I'm happy with that. Now sounds right. I know it sounds stupid, but it does. You just hear the gears just rubbing the surfaces. Very, very slight rattle, which will be taken out once you tighten the pump on. Done a separate video on this, so I suggest you go and have a look at that, because as I've said before, rebuilding these is important, and there's a few tricks to how you do it. Right, let's move on. So whilst I'm waiting for a few parts to turn up, I've ordered a new camshaft. I want a couple of clutch plates from a few other bits and parts, and there's a load of bearings. Just waiting for those to turn up, so we may as well have a look at the tank. Now, it's obviously this two-part tank for the KS600 compared to the K800 and K500. Not looked at the tank before, really, just bought it and that was it. But it looked pretty solid, so it's a bit trusting. This thing that I was just fiddling with, I can't open it, so with any luck, there's a bar of Nazi gold or something hiding in there, which I very much doubt. Can't decide whether this is correct. It's got the dome and everything, but it doesn't have the 4 pot type rivets there. No, there's there, so maybe it's just been ground off. I think it probably has, but I think it's been well used. Some kind of filter stuck in there. There we go, blimey. It's a big old beast, isn't it? Someone was expecting to pump a lot of fuel in there. I did earlier, about 10 minutes ago, I had a little bit of a fiddle here, and you can see how thick the paint is. It's literally about 20 layers on there. So I got out my favourite paint stripping tool, the old Thompson Roto stripper. So anyway, you can have a look on here. You can see I've just used the Roto tool on it, and it's good for taking back the layers and showing you them in order. Can you see that? So we've got the grey brush stroke, which someone's hand brushed on top, and then we've got the it's like a red, and then grey, and another grey, or could be the old Wehrmacht grau or something under there, and then a yellow or a sandy colour. Then amongst it we've got a bit of a green. I'm not quite sure quite where that layer goes. I think it's on top of the yellow. So I'm going to try and strip this back actually layer by layer, just out of curiosity, to get a bit of history on it. Underneath here we've got a twatting great big dent, which is a bit annoying. That dent of course is supposed to be there. This one isn't. So we're going to have to do something with that. I think what I'll do is just heat it up, get a wooden mandrel in there, give it a bit of a beating till it's roughly level. It doesn't make a huge difference, you're not going to see it, but obviously it will reduce the amount of fuel, but it also gives a good chance to have a look over the tank and make sure there's no holes in it, and that this thick old layer of paint isn't just hiding a few nasties. Right, so I'll get on stripping with that. Right, so I've stripped it back a bit. Have another look at the layers. Got a nice Chernobyl yellow colour there. Not sure what this fluorescent-y yellow-green is. Maybe it was a base coat, I'm not sure. But there's obviously 2 shades there. It's quite an antique sort of DAC type colour, that one, I don't know. But it's probably toxic. Anyway, it seems to have different layers on different sections, so I'm just going to crack on now and strip the rest back, clean it up. So we're nearly there. Got off all the paint except for a few bits. It turns out that the lighter yellow is actually a filler of some kind, and the rest of it was paint. This green here appears to be straight on the metal as well, which is a bit weird. Right, but interestingly, it looks like it had some kind of hole there. Could be a bullet hole even, I don't know. It seemed inappropriate. I had a look inside it. I'll see if I can switch the torch on. You might be able to have a gander inside and see what you think.